Hey guys, sorry if it's kind of dark again. Obviously, because this darkness problem is like a reoccurring problem, it's starting to get darker sooner here. Kind of about like around like 8. So I'm going to show you what Jordan's been doing. Here we are. We got this tacked up. Oh, hello. Almost fell backwards here. It's kind of scary. When Jordan was up on the ladder, I was like pulling the Tyvek through up there, holding it for him. And then just because this ground, it just is so scary. I like could barely watch him do that. And we still have to do that side. And that's the worst side, when it's just like sloped and rocky like that. And then last night I finished nailing half of this wall and then all of this wall. Jordan did like the top 2 rows, but then I nailed all the rest. So kind of taking baby steps here. I finished digging the trench as far as I could. I like hurt my finger really bad because I was getting this rock out, this one, and I was like pulling it out over here and it rolled and like my finger got caught between that rock and it like, you could say it's definitely bruised today. Probably can't see it on camera, but it's gonna probably be a little bit more tomorrow. And then we also went into town today to go to church and stuff, and then pick up some of our things that we needed to pick up from Lowe's, which was an exciting pickup today. We picked up the door and then our spiral staircase.
That sucker is heavy.
Yeah, this is our spiral staircase.
It's gotta be like 250 pounds.
Yeah, it took a bit to get it up here. We're probably gonna have to like unpack it and unload it in pieces to get it off, because we needed some help to do that. But something I thought was kind of funny, we didn't know this, but where did it say? Oh look, made in Italy. I joked to Jordan, I was like, yeah, we can tell people, yes, we've got these stairs imported from Italy.
Yes.
Yes.
Imported stairs.
Imported. Also, I don't know if we shared with you guys yet about our spiral staircase plan. So, it's gonna be going, it's gonna go in that corner. So you'll come up here, and I'll come up here because I'll show you our door. We had a couple of people suggest putting in a spiral staircase, and I was just so against it because I didn't want to lose the space over in this corner, because I was planning all this time of using this space as like mudroom, coat area, because if you live in a cold climate like us, you know, muddy boots, tons of coats, like a lot of coats, a lot of winter gear, hats, gloves. So you really need like a devoted space, a devoted like mudroom, coat, boot area. And so I was just like, in this like 570 square foot place, I definitely want a devoted area to muddy boots and coats, because I don't want mud tracked all over our small area. And then I was explaining this to everybody, and then one of our friends, one of my girlfriends was like, Megan, you know, if you put a spiral staircase there, that you'll likely be entering the building from the garage, so you can put all your muddy boots and coats down in the garage and make that bottom corner a mud area. And I was like, duh, I can't believe we didn't think of that before. So that's what we decided. And then also, it's nice because then in the wintertime, we won't have to use this, which eventually we are going to redo this, but this was kind of a concern. And then, as you guys know, our laundry room is downstairs. So, like, in the wintertime, we don't have to go trudging through this area over here, which is probably will turn into, like, just all snow and ice. And we don't have to go up and down that with a laundry basket or dirty clothes. We can just use a spiral staircase. So that's why we got that. Not sure if we had told you guys, but that's the story. And then here is our door. So exciting. It has the little slider. We haven't like taken this out yet, but where the curtains will slide, her shades will slide through. We popped it in and it fits in pretty nicely. There'll just be a little bit to do, but it's exciting to see that, and we got to see it more in the daylight so we could see what it looks like letting in the daylight, and I think it looks pretty nice. What do you think?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, so
Looking forward to getting that in the windows hopefully over the next week.
yep, so he said he's looking forward to getting those in the next week, if you couldn't hear him. But we are going to kind of have a fire here tonight before we go to bed for a little bit, and just enjoy that. So we'll see you guys later.
Alright, welcome back. I had a little hiatus of videoing because I've been so busy trying to get stuff done with weather and everything. So today I'm working on windows into the building. I'm not quite done with the tie back on the back, but I need to get windows in because we got spray foam coming and drywall and all that, so we need to get the building sealed. So working on big window first. You're sitting in the opening of the big front window. So Josh is up here helping me today real quick get this window in because it's heavy. And yeah, so stay tuned for that. Put the bottom in first. Ready? Alrighty, so we got the that one window in you saw. Our spray foam guys said that they finished up something early or some scheduling stuff changed, so they are able to come this week. So I was trying to rush and finish. That's why I was doing the window, is to try to get that done before they get here, the doors and windows. Apparently they don't need that done. It's actually easier for them not to have them done. So I kind of just finished flashing this one window. It's not totally in, but I have a little bit of flashing and a drip edge to put up on the top of it. So check back for that. But what I do need to do is get a bunch of nailers in for drywall. So just to my edges. So like I just put a 2x4 in right here. You can see this guy, nailed him in, nothing fancy, just a couple nails in. It's just for drywall, so not a huge thing. So I have this is done, then I need to put a couple nailers like this at the very peak on all three sections, and on the corners like I did there on these remaining 5. Then there's a few vertical sections, a couple other things I need to do for drywall. However, not all of it's contingent for the foaming. So what I'm doing now is just trying to get the stuff that's affecting foam, that done for the drywall portions that will be foamed in, essentially. So I got to get that done, these nailers, and if I get that done here between today and tomorrow, they're supposed to be coming in a couple days.
Hey guys, we had some good news come our way yesterday. The insulation guys are going to be able to come like half a week early. So we're super pumped about that, but also we're scrambling to get the inside of the garage and the upstairs apartment kind of cleared out so they can just spray and not worry about anything, and so there's not things in their way. So that's what we're doing tonight, trying to get that done. Jordan had to put up a few like nailers upstairs that we will need for hanging drywall, so he did that today, and then hopefully tonight we are going to be cutting the hole for the spiral staircase. If it doesn't happen tonight, it might happen tomorrow morning, but also don't quote me on that because things change pretty quickly around here. Also, more good news, We did have another contractor come up who installs steel this morning, and he kind of told us what we needed to do. There's some things that are just frustrating about our building that we'll have to do. Jordan was like, seriously? So I'll kind of show you. If you can see that, like, it looks like a 2x4 up at the top, right underneath the roof line. So to install steel, you need a flush and flat surface. So that's not a complete, I mean, that 2x4 is not completely exposed because there's sheeting. So it's like not a full 2 inches there. So what Jordan's gonna do to get this completely flush is he's gonna put a little bit more OSB on top of those 2x4s to get it to an actual 2 inches out, and then he'll just put 2x4s every 2 feet horizontally along. So when they're installing the steel, everything is flush and flat, and we have to do that on both sides. And then the other thing we have to do, like, that wasn't done correctly when this building was built and when the roof was installed, those I think it's called a flashing, so it's like that little piece underneath the top roof layer. It should come out a little bit farther, and like on the other side, it's like completely tight against the building, and it's not supposed to be like that. So Jordan's gonna actually have to unscrew the last like row on the roof and pull that out a little bit more, and then he'll have to re-screw all that. So that seems like it might be the harder job, but there we go. There's just another thing with this building. But again, staying on the positive side, we found someone who's willing to do it, and he said we're gonna wait for him to remeasure the whole building to put our metal order in. So we were hoping we could just get the last few measurements and then submit our metal order. But even the sales guy at the metal supply company was like, you know, if this previous guy was kind of sketchy, maybe we shouldn't even use his measurements. Let's wait till there's like a legit guy coming, and we'll use all of his measurements. So that's our plan there. And then the other thing that happened today, which was not expected, that happened ahead of schedule, was the propane company came and installed our regulator there and a new regulator over there, and then now we have a line in the trench that I built. So that is exciting, because like if we wanted to, we won't because we need to insulate, but if we wanted to, like, we could like hook up our heater right now, or upstairs we could hook up our gas stove. But again, we're not going to until we get insulated, and then upstairs gets drywalled should we decide to do the drywall this year. But yeah, some really exciting things happened today. So the insulation guys are coming one day later than we we knew they were coming earlier, but they're coming one day later than the early date we thought. Which, thank goodness, because they told us we have to have the space completely cleared out. So we're trying to scramble and do that today. And Jordan kind of came up with an ingenious idea to get all these carts out of here, because we're like, oh man, we're gonna have to like unload all those, take them out, load them back up. But Jordan's like, why don't we just put like plywood down and then roll them out on the plywood? So that's what we did, and it works marvelously. The other good news is with this plan, with them coming one day later, is Jordan can finish cutting that hole, or actually you're just gonna mark it off for now.
Yeah, I just
so they don't insulation, or they don't put insulation there.
So basically from that line, that way, no foam. Because what I'm gonna do is cut these joists right here, and then add two 2x8s running across, and then re-joist hang those smaller little joists onto that, because this is going to be a hole for a stairwell. So, yep, and then I did, here, maybe you can see from this side better, or up, but I doubled this joist and do like a beam, so I glued it and then screwed it with structural lag bolts from that side. So since that'll basically be where the final stair tread will land, so it'll be stronger to do it that way.
The final or the first, depending how you look at it.
Yeah, that's true.
And another nice thing is we'll have a more exciting, satisfying transformation of these spaces because they'll be completely empty. I think this will be like the first time we've ever seen this garage space completely empty.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll keep you posted. There you have it, folks. The most empty garage we've ever had since we've been here. We are going to move that tank. And then these last couple of things, kind of last minute. So here's the garage, all empty. Get a good look. Ceiling. Because next time it'll be foamed. And here is the upstairs. Totally empty. The ceiling. Hey guys, I am obviously driving here. Don't worry, I just have my phone propped up and then I have two hands on the wheel. But I just wanted to film this because we got a little bit more bad news this morning. Last night, so our installation's supposed to come today, and last night Jordan was wondering, like, the electrical inspector hasn't come yet, and I'm pretty sure that has to happen before installation goes in. So I got a hold of our electricians this morning to be like, hey, what's up with the inspector, the inspection? He hasn't come yet, and I think that they forgot to call it in, because he usually comes within 2 to 3 days after they're done, and yesterday would have been day 3. So they called it in this morning. So that's really unfortunate because we had to tell the installation people they can't start today, which again, it's a disappointment because it really wrecks people's schedules, and for them to make the most out of this time, they're gonna have to put another job before us, which is understandable completely, but it pushes our project back, because who knows how long the next job could be, and then, you know, when they can fit us in next. So it's just really a bummer. It pushes everything back. Like now our drywall dates, if we do the drywall, we don't know. Like everything's kind of a question mark until this inspector can come out and inspect. But I don't know. I just wanted to film this because, like, the last time something bad happened, like we had time to like process it before we like filmed it, so we were a little bit more positive. But my drive here, I have to go to work this morning. I'm gonna be late because of all this stuff that's happening, and I was just really bummed out. And then on top of it too, our stupid water heater, like on the camper, it's not lighting. Like we have to go out there with a lighter and then turn it on, and you can't do it with one person because by the time you flip the switch and can get around the other side of the camper and get the lighter in there, it's done like trying to ignite. So I had to like wake Jordan up, and because he's sleeping because he's working overnights again, and I had to wake him up to get the water heater started so I could shower before I go to work. I'm meeting like a super important client of ours today, and we got it started, and then it went out again, and then we did this 3 times, and it went out, and I was just like, I had to take a freezing cold, just dunk my head in the freezing cold water. So it just has been a very rough morning, and kind of wanted to capture this because so you guys can know, like, not everything's always peachy keen. These are the moments that like really suck. Like, I'm not a cusser, but this morning definitely was wanting to cuss a little bit. And yeah, but we get through them. You know, we can only control so much ourselves, so it's a good reminder of that. But yeah, just want to be candid with you guys, and that's kind of what's happening. We'll keep you posted on what happens. Good morning. It's been a few days since that last video. Inspector still hasn't come yet, so hopefully, and it is now the weekend, and hopefully he can come on Monday. Fingers crossed, so that we can get on the installation schedule as soon as possible. We have been taking advantage of this empty garage because there were a couple other things that we were going to do after installation, but now that installation's pushed off, these things are easier to get done without the installation. So like drilling like vent holes, that's going to be for like our water heater. So we'll actually put the pipes in. I think we're planning on doing that before we get foamed, so it doesn't get foamed over. And then like here's our vent for the fan. We still need to get just a little bit of venting to connect that, and then our dryer vent. And then there was a couple vents upstairs that we got drilled, that Jordan got drilled, which is nice. It's a little bit easier to do it now than before installation. We figured, I guess if installation isn't here or isn't coming soon, we'll get that done. The other thing that I'm going to be doing this morning is filling this with gravel, at least up to this point, so then we can pour concrete to fill the rest of that surface. Just thought we'd take advantage, you know, I can pull the four-wheeler in and out of here, no problem. So that's what I'm going to be doing this morning. This afternoon, I'm going to be going to my mentee's soccer game, and then this evening, I'm going to a talk by Oz Guinness. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited. If you have never heard of Oz Guinness before, I recommend that you look him up and his book, Free People's Suicide. Super good book, very thought-provoking, and I'm really excited to hear him talk tonight. So those are some of the things that I'm going to be doing. Jordan is actually gone this weekend, another family wedding. This time it's his cousin's. He went down to Colorado Springs yesterday. He got a few days off work. Lucky guy. I'm out of my days off work, so he's doing that, and just totally deserves just a couple days off of working up here. And the nice thing is, on the way back, he's going to be making like a pit stop in Wyoming near where my mom's cabin used to be, where we stored a couple snowmobiles that my mom is giving to us. And so he's going to be picking those up on the way back. So that will be nice. It's two snowmobiles. I think I mentioned it before. One is like an old two-up. We called it, lovingly referred to it as the granny sled. It actually does not work, so we have to get it working again. And then there's another one it's another Skidoo. Like, it's a newer one, but my mom totaled it, and they fixed it after she totaled it, but she can't really sell it because it has a damaged title, or she can't sell it for very much. So she gave that to us to use for emergency situations this winter in case we can't get out, since we don't have like that heavy duty equipment just yet to plow out of the snow. So yeah, so that's nice. So those are some of the things that I'm up to today, and hopefully tomorrow I will get the trench for the propane line buried, and then I don't know if I'll get this done today or tomorrow, but there's just like 3 more joist hangers that need to be nailed in all the way. You know, they're nailed in a couple places, but just finish nailing those in. So that's what I'm up to, and here we go, all evened out. Now it's not such a big gaping hole anymore. Be able to lay a couple inches of concrete down, and it'll be brand new. Like it never even happened. Okay, I am on to the next task, getting the rest of these joist hangers nailed up. Hopefully I can get this finished before I need to head out for my mentee's soccer game. So getting some stuff done today. And I am all done. Didn't take too terribly long. I don't know if you can see all those little nails in there. That pneumatic nailer makes things go so fast. Like, imagine having to do all those by a hammer. Like, that would take quite a bit longer. But I have just enough time to kind of get ready and head out for the soccer game. And I will probably catch up with you guys in this video. It'll be the next day. And hopefully I get that pipeline or the propane line trench buried. After I had dug it out, it rained like for 3 days after that. So all of that's like packed down. So that's gonna be fun. It's gonna take a while. So we'll catch up with you then. Hello. So it is the next day, and I am gonna be burying this. So I'm just gonna do a little before and after. I'm not gonna like film me actually burying it because it's not that interesting. So here's our before. Hopefully I'll get you an after. And then the other thing too that I have been working on this weekend, like the last 3 days, is fixing the igniter to our water heater. So that has been quite the adventure. You'd think that it would have been something simple, but it was not. Like, I had to go to this RV parts store, which is like 45 minutes away from us. I gave them the model number and everything for the igniter and get it, come back home, like take the old one out, get the new one in, which was a beast because all the bolts and nuts were rusted. And then to come to find out, it's actually the incorrect plug-in. Like the electrical like plug-in is just completely the wrong port. So I was like, dang it. So luckily I was going back into town where that RV part store was the next day. So that's what I did. I went and exchanged it, and then came back, and this morning before church I was like, maybe I can just get that in real quick. Of course, where the old like bolt and nut went in, the new one, the hole is smaller. So I'm like, dang it. Luckily, I actually figured that out before I went to church, because then when I was in town for church, I could just stop at like Ace Hardware and get the right bolt and nut. So that's kind of good that I discovered that before I went into town. So then while I was in town, I could just get that done. Then I came back, installed it, and it still isn't working, you guys. Like the igniter it's like working if I go and light it. It's the same problem that we were having before. So I don't know what the heck the problem is, because we've refilled our gas, we got a brand new igniter, but still when I flip the switch where it's supposed to ignite automatically, you can hear the gas going and you can hear it clicking like it's starting, or it's trying to start, but it just doesn't start. But if I go around, like run around fast enough to get a lighter in there, it will light, which is the same issue. So we are kind of at a loss. We don't know what's going on. But yeah, just kind of, that was something else that I've been doing over the last few days. And then you probably saw Shaman here in the background. I picked him up last night. I'm watching him this week. But anyway, hopefully I can show you my progress on this in a little bit. All done. You can probably see behind me. Kind of rocky on top because I had to kind of use the soft stuff to put down straight onto the pipe because we didn't want the rocks laying directly onto it. So the top's kind of rocky, but we're going to be putting gravel, like pretty thick gravel, all the way or on this whole area anyway. So this will all get kind of covered up anyway. And then this thing right here that Shaman's like this protruding thing, that's a huge rocks. I was like trying to like break it up, thought it was like just hard soil, and I was like, nope, that's definitely a rock. So yeah, I got pretty much everything done. I just need to roll tape on Tyvek, and that is everything that Jordan asked me to get done this weekend. And it's only 3:30, so awesome. I'm excited to get that done, have all that done for when he gets back. And yeah, let's see. So hopefully on the next video we'll get to catch you guys up on the insulation, since we still don't know when they're coming. The inspector hasn't come yet, so hopefully he comes tomorrow and then we'll get on the books there. So crossing my fingers it'll make it on the next video, but I'm not making any promises on that. So sorry, I feel like this episode is probably a little tantalizing because I mean the whole thing was for us too, so maybe you guys feel a little bit how we felt when we found out that they weren't coming. A little disappointed. But yeah, we'll catch up with you guys next week. Thanks again for watching. As always, like, subscribe if you aren't already, and make those comments below. Thanks. Bye.